The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has released provisional results for the 2016 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination.
A statement signed by Agnes Tekujo, head of public affairs at WAEC, said 1,576 candidates had some of their subjects' results cancelled, while 598 candidates had their entire results cancelled. A total of 274,262 candidates participated in the exams, with some 45.22% of the number failing. A survey conducted by think tank Ghana Center for Democratic Development, or CDD Ghana, has found the majority of Ghanaians very much unhappy with the way the country is being managed. 7 out of 10 of the 2,400 people surveyed were of the opinion the country was heading in the wrong direction, adding it would require another party to reverse the tide. The respondents also mentioned governmental corruption, power outages, high prices of foodstuff, and access to medical care amongst the factors that will influence the way they vote in the December elections. Incidentally, it comes just a day after the NDC downplayed the impact of the energy crisis on its electoral fortunes. Joseph Akable has more in the following report.
Data for the survey was collected from 2,400 adult citizens across the country between July 2 and 18, 2016. Participants were interviewed in a language of their choice. Addressing a news conference, Senior Research Officer at the CDD, Daniel Ama-Ato, said bad roads and power outages are among the key factors likely to influence voters.
Solid majorities of Ghanaians claim their vote choices in the 2016 polls will be influenced a great deal or somewhat by a variety of policy and campaign issues, ranging from bad roads, 76%, all the way to national embarrassments such as the World Cup scandal in the half, a little over half, compared to the others is on the lower side. But the key ones are the bad roads, government corruption, power outages, high prices of foodstuffs, ability to get medical care, use of abusive language, arrogance and disrespectful nature of politicians. So we can clearly see these are issues that they claim will have strong influence on the decisions they will make at the 2016 elections.
On government's performance in handling unemployment, electricity and the economy, the survey reveals majority of Ghanaians are of the view that government has failed, with 70% insisting the country is heading in the wrong direction.
And what we found was that 64% believe the government is performing very or fairly badly in managing or addressing their first most important policy priority. And about a third, however, rated government's performance as very or fairly well. We had 70% believing the country is in the wrong direction. That is, the country probably is in the wrong gear. Instead of moving forward, probably we are reversing. And then we also had about 24% thinking the country is headed in the right direction. And when we ask them whether they think government is solely responsible or government and other factors are responsible, we had almost half, 49%, attributing the direction of the country completely or mostly to government.
The center is expected to release another report before the December election. Joseph Akable reporting for Joy News, Accra.
A wasted vote is a vote for John Mahama. This is the message of the flag bearer of the Progressive People's Party, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indom, to the constituents of Botiano English and Manfrom constituency.
Well, he was speaking at a rally to introduce a parliamentary candidate for the area, Reverend Fred Ni Ajite Labi.
Those people that you waste your vote when you go and give your vote to somebody and that person goes into government and they don't do anything for you and that they disappoint you, that one, that is the wasted vote. I also told her that you waste your vote. You waste your vote when you vote for somebody hoping that your children will be able to go to school. And then after you vote, you can't afford to send your children to school. That is a wasted vote. I also told them that you vote for someone so that they can help prevent diseases. But then after you vote for the person and you continue to have malaria, you continue to have cholera, you continue to have monococcal meningitis, that is a wasted vote. I also told them that when you vote for somebody with the hope that you will have continuous power, electricity, and you vote for them, and then you get doomsaw, that is a wasted vote. And then I added that you vote so that the young men and the young women, they will get jobs to do. But when you vote, and there are no jobs, there is unemployment, there is no money in the pocket, that is the wasted vote. So go and tell them, especially all the people who voted for John Dramani Mahama, that they have gone to waste their votes. And the vote that they have wasted, that is the vote that has now sent us to the IMF, because John Mahama says he cannot manage our economy. So he has taken the economy and handed it over to the IMF. And they are telling us what to do. And some of what they are telling us to do is not in our best interests. You have wasted your vote on John Dramani Mahama. And look at you. Look at what is happening here.
A committee set up to investigate an incident in which electoral officers aided Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to verify his name outside the designated center has endorsed the sanctions meted out to the officials involved.
According to the findings of the three-member committee, the conduct of the officers was a violation of the guidelines issued for the voter exhibition exercise and contrary to the Commission's policies. The NDC at the time had alleged that the New Patriotic Party running mate was verified in his home in Waliwali in the northern region. But the committee did not establish that, except to say the verification happened outside the designated center.
We also have to remain in politics as the flag bearer of the Convention People's Party, Ivor Kwabena Greenstreet, has also waded into the debate about the jailing of the MONTIE 3 and the severity of their sentence.
He agrees it will be unwise of the president to grant them pardon and actually suggest they should have been handed a harsher sentence. He spoke to our colleague, Araba Kumsin.
Well, number one, if I had had the opportunity, which unfortunately I am not on the bench, should I say, but I believe they should have been given a sentence which is longer than the 4 months they received. They should have been given 1 year sentence, 6 months suspended.
But there's a general assumption, again, that, you know, the 4 months was a bit too harsh, which is why a lot of the
My opinion, okay, my opinion, based on the confusion that both the NDC and the NPP have rendered this nation into, with all kinds of people saying all kinds of rubbish on all our radio stations nationwide, because they have people who go there just to divide us as a people and not help us concentrate on issues that affect us in our daily lives and provide us with hope, light, and opportunity. No, they don't do that. They bring us divisiveness and vindictiveness and rancor and insults.
So you don't think the president should pardon them?
At all, not under any circumstances. Not, and I don't believe for one moment he'll do it. I think recently it has been referred to Shraj. So maybe he's under pressure from some of his rank and file and he's buying time. I can't believe.
What it is that the petition has been sent to him. He has presented them to the Council of State for them to review.
Yes. Well, you know, that buys a bit more time and perhaps, you know, he's hoping that people will forget about it, you know, and leave him in peace. But I can't believe that he's even for one moment thinking of making that politically shocking mistake and error to bring these characters out of incarceration. As I told you, I believe they should have been there longer. A 1 year sentence, 6 months suspended. That is the only aspect of mercy I can tell you that I'd accept. 6 months of the 1 year will be suspended. But they would have been in longer than 4 months. 6 months.
And the CPP flag bearer, whose party in the last few weeks has been rocked by internal wrangling following the interdiction of his general secretary and the national youth organizer of the party, insists there's no crisis within the party. Mr. Greenstreet, who has been campaigning in various parts of the country, says he's not distracted by these internal wranglings.
I think it's unfair to say that they were suspended. You know, they were not suspended. They were interdicted, should I say, or asked or set aside pending a disciplinary inquiry. Because in the party's constitution, if an individual is being referred to the disciplinary committee, they ask that person to step aside pending the matter being looked into. So number one, first point is that they were not suspended. Second point is that even I, as a general secretary, was suspended for 1 year as a sitting general secretary at a point in time. My good brother, the national organizer of NDC, Kofi Adams, was suspended for quite a lengthy period of time. And my own father, Nana Akufo-Addo, Adodankwa Akufo-Addo, has ensured the suspension of his whole chairman and general secretary. And for suspensions and disciplinary issues in political parties, that one there is every day it occurs. And certainly I won't be distracted by it. And I know it will be resolved in an amicable way, and we all mean well to try and ensure that there's unity and progress within the party. After all, I mean, Araba, when is the last time you went to watch a soccer match? When you go watch a soccer match, the most interesting games, at a point in time, definitely you will see the referee hold a yellow card or even a red card at a point in time. Well, it's normal in politics. I don't think it is.
It's normal. But some members of your party are saying you and the national chairman are behind the internal wranglings.
It's not the case. No, it's not the case. No.
That's not the case.
No. We wish everybody well. We wish the party well. We want a unified force going forward.
Speaking of unity,
we have to be on the same. You know, we have to all be on the same track.
Speaking of unity, you at a debate organized by your party before the party's congress, which saw you elected as flag bearer, you said, and I quote, "I'm the best person to unite the party ahead of the polls for Ghana's founding party to usurp the dominance of the NPP and the NDC." Yes. What have you done to unite the party?
The party is united. Total rank and file. Unity doesn't represent one or two individuals at the national level. It is about the entirety of the rank and file. And that is why they gave me a resounding endorsement at that Congress. 64%. Unheard of in the entirety of the history of the Convention People's Party for any flag bearer to win with that resounding victory. And I can tell you, region to region, constituency to constituency, they are united behind the presidential candidate because not they just love Ivor Governor Greenstreet, but they understand that this is an election year.
They're united behind the flag bearer. What about your national officers, your general secretary, your youth organizer? Are they united behind the flag bearer?
They're currently being disciplined. And so after that process is over, I mean, I wouldn't want to go into that too deeply because the matter is being looked into, and you know, and so once it's been looked into, I think it'd be unfair of me if I start passing comments on it. But it's been looked into, and assuming it is resolved, okay, we'll move forward. Many people are saying that what Nana Addo has managed to achieve in his party is not that it's a divided party, it's that he's achieved a law and order in his party. Maybe Convention People's Party, we're also achieving law and order in our party. You cannot move in an election campaign unless your party is disciplined and everybody's on track. People can't just be going off saying whatever they want to say at any point in time. We have to be united and together, and I believe that we will achieve that, and that the most important thing is the policies and programs that we have to offer Ghanaians in order to ensure that we succeed as a nation.
What's your relationship with Samia Nkrumah?
Okay, we haven't spoken for a while, but it's not a bad relationship. She's currently contesting to a sister party in regaining the Jomoro seat. So she's been very busy in that activity. We had a very good relationship as General Secretary and Chairman. Obviously, you know, some tensions and issues came in the presidential campaign where...
Have you been able to resolve those tensions? Are you making any overtures at all to bring her on board your campaign?
Well, I think she's very busy. Certainly she'll be part of our campaign in the Western region or in Jomoro. But I don't think she's going to have time to, let's say, move around the country on a constant basis as part of the presidential team. But I think the most important thing is that we all understand it is the party is bigger than either Kobna Greenstreet, Professor Delia Samia Nkrumah, or whoever it is. And so, we're working towards ensuring the party succeeds. And we have an agenda to prosecute, increase our representation in Parliament in terms of MPs, make sure that we improve.
The Ministry of Water Resources, Works and Housing says Ghana is making steady progress towards attaining its goal of universal water coverage by the year 2025.
This achievement, among several others in the works and housing sector, was announced during the ministry's first Meet the Press session this year. Jennifer Ekwamwa has more.
According to the Deputy Water Resources, Works and Housing Minister Samson Ahi, government's efforts to improve Ghana's urban water coverage has expanded access from 76% to 78% across the country. He outlined the projects undertaken which resulted in this feat.
Water supply to Greater Accra metropolitan area, which used to have challenges, has now been substantially addressed. We are aware of the problems in the distribution network, and consequently, government has secured a grant of $48.1 million from the World Bank to address the bottlenecks. The Urban Water Supply Master Plan is being updated. This will guide the distribution infrastructure improvement works. The first phase of the project will improve the water supply service in Tessinungwa, Glefe, Mamponsi, Choko, and Mamumu.
Mr. Ahi addressed some concerns from rural dwellers at Apesika in the Kintampo South District, who prefer pipe-borne water to the borehole provided them.
The standard is that every 300 people must be provided with one borehole, and every community which is above 2,000 and above must be given small town water system. So there are criteria. It's not, so if you have 600 population, it is expected that they will be given 2 boreholes. Okay. Because the idea is that every 300 community should have access to one borehole. Okay. So that's what we do. We don't just send the system there. We look at the population, we look at the numbers before we do it. So if such communities are above 2,000 and above, then when there is a facility, they will be considered.
Mr. He also pointed out achievements in the works and housing sectors, which included the imminent completion of the first phase of the OAS and Boteman affordable housing projects, as well as the completion of the first Navy barracks in the country.
Well, on another subject, checks by Joy News indicates that funds government promised for the psychiatric hospital in Accra for the upkeep of inmates and the running of the facility was yet to hit the accounts of the hospital.
The Ministry of Health, after the hospital suspended the admission of fresh patients, promised to release some 1.6 million cedis by the close of business Monday. But our sources say this is yet to happen, and the hospital is still refusing to take on new patients because it says it is also being chased by its suppliers for outstanding debts. But the current challenge belies the seeming neglect of mental health care in Ghana. The Accra Psychiatric Hospital, which is the central institution, does not only owe its suppliers, the facility is also in a deplorable state.
Well, the over a century-old structure has not seen any major renovation since its construction. Joy News Maxwell Agbagba toured the facility and has filed an eyewitness account of the situation at the hospital.
Bed bugs, cockroaches, unbearable stench and roof leakages sum up the environment at Accra Psychiatric Hospital. The hospital now struggles to run due to huge debts owed its medical and food suppliers. Welcome to the special ward of the Accra Psychiatric Hospital. The yellow paint in this room has given way to brown patches. There are gaping holes in the roof, and that means that whenever it rains, the rooms are turned into pools. The mattresses here are untidy without pillows. Perhaps the rusty and rickety metallic frames serve as headrests. The washrooms are not in any better condition. Emmanuel Nyumo is a nurse at the hospital. He says the hospital, which was originally constructed to house 80 people, is now forced to accommodate more inmates.
Currently, we have about 148 patients, okay, and then the bed capacity is 80. Can you imagine? Okay.
You have what?
148 patients, and then the bed capacity is 80. You understand? And then some have to sleep outside. As you came here, it's raining, and then they are in the rain, you know. So that's what we have to deal with on a daily basis.
The director of the hospital, Dr. Pinamanapao, describes the insanitary conditions at the facility, which is more than 100 years old.
Accra Psychiatric Hospital was built in 1906. So this year, it is 110 years. And it's the same structure that we're using. Initially, it was built as an asylum, so it's prison-like. When you go through the wards, you realize that the wards are like a prison. They look like prisons, actually. The place is dark. And like I said, because we are still using the same structure, things like the sewage lines that was put in 1906, that's what we're still basically using. Sometimes we have to go in and make some, what do we call it, make some adjustments to it and so on. But it's basically that's what we use, basically what we're using. And sometimes they clog up and people will have to go in and, you know, they call something rod and they put things in to be able to clear this sewage. And because of that, when you go to the wards, you smell the stench that comes out of the toilet facilities and so on. It's nothing to write home about. And when you look at the toilet facilities, you will have to see it to believe. Actually, and most of the people who have been here are saddened by what they see. And I think that we've been describing it, but people cannot imagine the state in which it is. We're thinking that, the management, we've sat and we've thought that, yes, we get subventions from the government. It's not enough. It's irregular and it's erratic. It doesn't come in as often as we would want it to be in there. And then subsequently you hear us in the news asking for help or going on strike and so on. We don't like it that way. Yeah. So we have also sat and thought that if we could put together some projects, okay, Accra Psychiatric Hospital does not generate revenue. We don't generate any form of revenue. If you remember, mental health in Ghana is free. So we don't generate enough revenue.
It's a psychiatric hospital, a place for the mentally troubled to regain their health. But the conditions here may well worsen the states of mind of the people brought here to be cured. For Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba.
And that'll be it for the news this morning. But today we have to tell you that the 2016 edition of the Multi-TV Habitat Fair is scheduled to come on this very Friday. I will be there. She will be there. She bought a house from last year's event, and so we'll be following up with the decoration. This year at the Accra International Conference Center.
I haven't finished paying, just so you know. Yeah.
All right, and it will still be taking place until the close of Sunday, August 14. The fair is to offer customers a one-stop avenue for all housing solutions. I hope to be there, and when I'm there, I'll get to have all the best things that I need for a house I intend building in the future, if I'm not already in my future. And so for business as usual, this very Wednesday on the AM show, we have Sheila Tamaklo put it together a progress report on how far we're preparing for the Multi-TV Habitat Fair and what you should be expecting. And so that will be on AM Business. But we know that CDD Ghana, they undertook that very recent, that's indicating that 70% of Ghanaians were not happy about the way the country is being run, and alternatively also there were various indicators. And so we're going to have representative of CDD in the studio, a senior research fellow, Dr. Kwejo Asante, will be on phone, and likely we're going to have Professor Stephen Ade, an economist, a former director for GIMPA, also on the phone to speak to us on many of the subjects.
All right, get interactive now. Send us your messages. What do you think? Is Ghana hard, as the research suggests? What's your own feeling where you are? Send us messages on WhatsApp 0560-800,000. I'm going to say good morning to Courage from Agbozoma. I get your message. Stay with us. We'll come back with the newspapers.